Thank you. Thank you so much. And welcome to our new stream today. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. Here on the whiteboard, do you have an access to the whiteboard at the moment?
Yes.
Yes, you do.
Yes.
Yes. So here at the moment, we have few verses from the book of Esther, and we shall see how the Zohar correction are reading those verses. This is quite complex. I I would like to share with you the first reading because the first reading is an opening. Usually in first reading we cannot get to few levels of the text, but it's an opening because the opening, good morning sunshine, Suzanne, shalom, shalom. And with this opening, we open new doors in the mind. So who would you like to read here the first verse of the book of Esther, please? Fernando, good morning. A microphone. Okay.
I can read in English if you like.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, Esther chapter 1, verse 1. Now it came to pass in the days of Ahasuerus. This is Ahasuerus who reigned from India even until Ethiopia, over 107 provinces.
Thank you.
Okay,
Can you
would you like
please?
me to keep reading?
Yes, from Esther 2.
Sure. Esther chapter 2, verse 7, and afterward I'll do verse 20. Okay, verse 7. And he brought up Hadassah, that is, Esther, his uncle's daughter, for she had neither father nor mother, and the maiden was of beautiful form, and fair to look on. And when her father and mother were dead, Mordecai took her for his own daughter. And verse
Thank
20 says, Esther had not yet made known her kindred nor her people, as Mordecai had charged her. For Esther did the commandment of Mordecai, like as when she was brought up with him.
Thank you. Those are few verses that the text will deal with. We shall read the text and then return to the verses. I'm reading here from the book of Zohar with explanation of the steps of the ladder. Ma'alot hasulam, those are the steps of the ladder. This is until correction 22. This is correction 21 article, and in this the maiden came to the king. This is the Aramaic first and then the Hebrew. Letter Tavchet 408. Ve'aleha itmar, and upon her it has been said, Vayehi omen et hadasa. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. Can you, Rodrigo, can you continue the conversation, please?
Yes. Well, Justin, we are trying to read the Zohar here, but I must confess that I cannot read uh, this this explanation from Baal Hasulan because my Hebrew is not so good to reach the meaning of this. But as Etty was saying, this commentary is regarding chapter 1, the book of Esther. And I don't know, Justin, if you have some words to say regarding this.
And no, I'm not sure which path she's taken with this verse at the moment. One 127 provinces is interesting.
Yes, but we don't know exactly the meaning of this number. We
Right.
could, if we get 127, we reach the number 10, right? So we can get this number, and one is relation to Keter. The two should be Binah and Chokhmah, and the seven could be the lower spheres. This is interesting, and this is one perspective of this number. I don't know if it's right or if it's the, the only way, but this number is very interesting and could be in relation to the tree of life, the 10 spheres, the 10 sephirots.
Are you able to read the Hebrew of the verse?
Reading the Hebrew, the verse 1,
Yes, the verse 1.
uh,
Vayahar, is that right?
yes, Vayehi,
Yes.
Bimei, Ahashverosh is the name of the king, Ahashverosh. Hu Ahashverosh HaMelech, Molech, Me, Mehodu, Vead, Cush, Sheva, Ve, Veashrim, Vemea, Medina. I don't know if I'm reading right, but it's something like this. And it's interesting, Justin and our friends on YouTube, we already talked about the book of Esther in previous conversations, and it's interesting that the name of Hashem didn't appears in these books, but the name Esther in Hebrew, Soter, is like hidden. So the Aleph could represent God, and so in this book, the Aleph, the secret, the invisible whom the Hashem is hidden, because the name of the book, the name of Esther, is the Aleph, the secret is hidden. Soter is hidden, and the Aleph could represent Hashem and 26. Just to share with you, while we are waiting, Eti, just to mention that the name of the book also expressed the secret, the sword, and the hidden. I don't know if it makes sense to you, Justin, and our friends on YouTube.
It does. It's very beautiful. Thank you so much. Please, expound. It's very beautiful.
Yes, thank you. Ed explained it to us this in previous discussion. And Fernando wrote on YouTube, The Secret of the Aleph, and the name doesn't appear. And here we have Felipe also on Discord. Good morning, Felipe.
Shalom, my friends. Good morning, good evening.
Well, Ed have some issues, and so she's not available to participate with us until now. And so we are just started to talk about the book of Esther, and Justin read to us the chapter 1 and verse 1, and now we are just talk about this verse and some ideas about the book of Esther. And please, our friends on YouTube could participate and could, how can I say, bring ideas to us. And Fernando wrote that the book of Esther is the secret of the Aleph, and the name doesn't appear. And in the book, it is hidden, the name of Hashem, as the name Esther showed to us. Shalom Venus and Shalom Sunshine and Shalom Fernando. And well, this is an open conversation since Ed is not here. And everyone who want to participate or say something, Justin and Felipe, feel free to talk with our friends and bring ideas to us. Thank you. Well, while we waiting Etsy, it was Venus. Venus wrote that grow with no parents, and it's interesting. Venus, as I'm already said, uh, Esther could represent um, this presence of the hidden in this world, because sometimes we cannot perceive, we cannot uh, we cannot see the presence of God in our lives, because sometimes uh, it's hidden. Looks like that it's not there, but in fact, always been here, always been with us. And I remember now some conversations that I had with Fernando and our friends, and I believe that one of the lessons of this book is show to us that the invisible room is always present in our lives. There is a lot of facts in this uh, story of Esther that shows the presence of God in our daily lives in all moments, even when we cannot perceive it.
Yes, Rodrigo, indeed, Justin and friends. The book of Esther, we had some opportunities to discuss in previous sessions, and it is really beautiful because, if I may, I'll just say the things that are popping. Esther was a beautiful woman. She was she was chosen by the king Hashverosh for to be his queen, right? And she doesn't show herself as a Jew. I remember Eti also saying that the the Israeli people being called or being named as Jews, it is related with this book, if I'm not wrong. And she is hidden. She hides herself in her uh, in her ways. She is really modest. If I remember well, she doesn't tries hard to appear to the king as someone who is wanting, who is needing, to be uh, elevated to the dignity of a queen. She's just modest and has her beauty, and she is chosen. And this aspect of the hidden Aleph, if I'm not wrong, I cannot remember the word, but it's like Aleph and then Seter. I really don't know if it is the word for secret.
I believe it's Soter. Soter.
Soter, right. So it is Aleph plus Soter. Aleph is hidden, and as Fernando and you mentioned, this Aleph represents the name, the 26, and the unity that is hidden in her name. And it's really beautiful that the Hashem, the name, never appears in the book. Also, there is a beautiful, beautiful relation with the Shoshana. This was already discussed in our sessions, but just to mention, Esther has the value of 661, right, Rodrigo?
Yeah, 661, right?
And Shoshana has this same value, if I'm not wrong. And so that I guess in Weinreb's book about the book of Esther, he makes a quite remarkable relation with this Shoshana, which is mentioned in the Psalms, and the name of Esther. The quote is like a rose or like a lily among the thorns, so is my beloved among the daughters. Meaning that Esther is the very aspect of Shekinah, or I don't know. I would say that she is this rose, this lily, the aspect of love among the thorns, among the duality. For 661 sums up 13, which is love and unity. So her name also represents this unity and the love, as Shoshana represents it as well. Just to share these thoughts about the book of Esther.
Thank
That
you,
was
Felipe.
that was awesome. Thank you so much, both of you. It was amazing.
Thank you, Justin. It was many things that were discussed in previous sessions, and there is this just a point. There is this book, incredible book of Friedrich Weinreb. It's called. It has in English, and I guess we have available in a link on Discord. I guess it's about the book of Esther. It's a beautiful, beautiful book.
Thank you, Felipe. It's amazing that you bring to us. I believe it's the quote that you remember to us is from Songs of the Songs, chapter 2, verse 2. As a lily among thorns, so my love among the daughters. And I don't know if yet is available now, but she wrote she's writing on the whiteboard this verse in Hebrew, and 661, which is the value of the name of Esther. We get the number 13, which means love. So 13 is love, and this 661, um, remember us this Hava, the love in Hebrew, right? It's amazing quote that you bring to us. Thank you very much.
Yes,
And we have here on YouTube uh, some contributions that Venus. Remember that 127 is the Sarah's years, the number of year of Sarah, and Venus also remember us that 661 equal 13, and Fernando wrote that Vaireb also speaks that Esther represents our neshama. So the relation of Esther with the neshama, which is hidden in this world and suffers. But in the end, everything comes as it needed to be.
Yes, yes. It's really beautiful. If I may bring the, I'm sure that Eti would bring Zohar aspects, and I'm really curious about it. But remembering about Weinreb, since we are talking about this book, he starts the book speaking about the descending of neshama, of the spirit, to incarnation, to matter, to duality, and it's a remarkable description he makes, and he brings the idea of the destruction of the temple. So when the temple of our spirit is corrupted, is destroyed. So in this moment, neshama has no place to dwell in the world, let's say in the spiritual realm of our beings, and she is exiled. So so our spirit is exiled, is lost in a world of duality, and has to make his way back, his teshuvah, or uh, to recover, to be again united with Hashem. And he speaks so beautifully. I could. I wish I could say to you what it feels to read it, but it's really beautiful. He's saying that neshama is descending and she's suffering, but she's suffering as God suffers in splitting in creation, you know. So what I understood about this is that our spirit, our neshama, suffers a lot to descend to our incarnation, but she has to do this. It's the only thing she needs to do. It's unbearable pain, but she has to descend to this world of duality in a way to feel how it how to feel how is to act uh, gratitudously, uh, you know, to love unconditionally, to give herself to the others. So I guess this is the story of Esther.
Thank you, Felipe. I don't know if Justin has something to say to us. Um, Fernando wrote on YouTube that the uncle is the Dodi, and he remembers me that the Mordecai represents that relation that also that Eti also explained to us that the Dodi with is a diagonal relation, right? Uh, in the Pythagorean triangle, we have the the vertical line, the horizontal line, and we have the diagonal line, the number 5. If we get that the 3 is the spirit, the father, the 4 is the mother, the material room, and we have the 5, the spirit, would be the son or the uncle in this case, as Fernando mentioned in YouTube, that the Dodi, the Dodi is this diagonal line, and we already learned with Eti that sometimes when we are how can I say, when a student follow the teacher, sometimes it's not recommendable that he stays behind, but it's better that we take the diagonal line, as for example the relation between Keter and Chokhmah, Keter and Binah. It's a diagonal line, um, because sometimes if we are behind, uh, immediately when we receive the directly, light could uh, burn a lot. So sometimes it's how can I say, it's better to be in this diagonal line. And I remember that Etsy mentioned the example, um, the father um, and the mother. Sometimes the communication with the children, with the, the daughter, sometimes it's better with the uncle because it's a diagonal line. And so there is, how can I say, it's easily to have a better communication using this diagonal relation. I don't know if it's clear what I said, but I just remember this when Fernando mentioned that the uncle is the Dodi. And Fernando also wrote on YouTube, it has a parallel relationship with Esther and makes her remember about the suffering of Jewish people, of the forgotten aspects of the soul that are being chased by the world. And Sunshine wrote, I saw a movie of Esther, and her humility, gratefulness, etc., reminded me almost Cinderella. And Fernando wrote, Cinderella also could represent our neshama that is sleeping and waiting. So Sunshine and Fernando bring to us this mention to Cinderella and this comparison between uh, Esther and Cinderella. I don't know if Justin or Felipe, Justin or Felipe or Etty could say something. Please feel free.
This is beautiful what you brought, what all of us together have brought here. It's amazing, just in the simple geometry of triangles and the strength that that it gives to have the triangle like the pyramids, the strength that they give, and just in matter and also in spiritual matters. It's very beautiful to see it all work out in God's creation. All of these principles in effect in real world. How the like you said, the diagonal shape, the form, it creates a perfect pyramid or something that's able to take great weight and last for thousands of years in real time. And then spiritually speaking, it's a very beautiful concept to think that being directly behind, and sometimes it's better for a good word to be given by someone who's an aunt or an uncle who isn't in the direct line, but it is somebody who can has a relationship, yet can also offer like maybe an outside of the line perspective to help strengthen the message given. And all of this is very beautiful what you brought here.
Yes, it's and this very aspect of the uncle, this Dodi, has also relation with uh, the loved one, if I remember well, like the name of the mandrakes are Dodaim, And also David has these letters Dalet, Vav, Dalet, has relation with love as well.
Thank you,
Okay.
Felipe. Thank you, Justin. And Etty is wrote on the whiteboard, and I believe that all our friends on YouTube can read it. And the Dodaim and the Dodi and the David and all these names has a relation with the love and with the Dod and this triangle, and as Justin also mentioned to us. Felipe, please feel free.
No, I was just thinking about this, what Justin said about this relation, thinking of, daily life, the uncle relation. And it's really beautiful because it has representation on the letter Aleph that we often talk about. Two yods linked by a diagonal vav. So this vav, this connection of the upper and the lower, uh, let's say it's preferred to be diagonal. It makes us think about the our lives, because we often tend to think in how can I say, we tend to find the truth. We tend to find one answer to everything, so we can build our lives, we can build our truths. And I guess everything has to be, should be approached in a more lovely way, let's say, in this Dodi way, because if we look face to face, we may um, burn our eyes, as Moses had to hid himself from the from Hashem. If we look directly in a straight line, we might lose something. And this wisdom of diagonal line, diagonal approach, undirect approach has something to do with love and with wisdom, in as far as I understand it, because you do not want to extract everything from the others. You make a relation in a pacific way, in a respectful way. And just to point it, and Eti wrote this Dodi, making the foot of the hay like a tetragrammaton. Dodi is a tetragrammaton without the hays. So these two dalets can be filled with the foot of the hay.
Yes, it's great that Fernando mentioned this on YouTube. If we add one to the Dalit, one in this case the Yod, we get the letter Hey and form the name Dodi as the letters of Hashem. And it's very interesting. And then Etty wrote this on the whiteboard. Dodi became Hashem if we add the foot of the Hey in the Dalet. If we add the Yod in the Dalet, we get the letters of Hashem. And this, remember the beginning of this session when you talk about the Esther, the name Esther, the Aleph is hidden. And so we can say that the Yod is hidden in the Dodi. And if we can reveal the Yod in the word, in the word Dodi, we can make the Hashem. And Venus wrote on YouTube that Mordechai, the uncle, is 274. And if we add, we get the number 13. And so Mordecai is equal 13, and Esther is equal 13. And so 13 plus 13 equal 26. And now finally I understood what Venus already wrote on YouTube. Esther plus Mordecai equal Yod He Vav He. Oh, now I understood Venus. Yes, 13 plus 13. Thank you very much, Fernando, and thank you, Venus, with this beautiful contribution, and thank you, Felipe. And feel free, Justin, Felipe, Eti, Fernando, please, to talk with us.
Wow, this is beautiful. I've already learned so much just listening to you. And what you just brought with Mordecai and Esther both combined, uh, being 26, that's just amazing. It really is amazing. Thank you, everyone, for your contribution.
Another another fact that makes I remember right now, it's the when Esther has to give an answer to Hashverosh about has to approach Hashverosh with the message that her uncle said to her. She makes a feast of 3 days. She feasts for 3 days, and after this feasting, she is able to conduct the the actions that she must conduct. And I remember that it has we already talked about it. These 3 days has the value of correct me please, Rodrigo, 72 hours, right?
Yeah, 72, right.
So in these 3 days, these 72 hours has the value of Hesed, of grace and mercy. So it's needed for her like a spiritual she has to wait this 72 hours, this time of the grace, before she talk with the king. It's like another demonstration of humbleness and wisdom as well, because Hesed is the right side of the tree. It's linked with Chokhmah as well. So she makes this connection.
That's interesting you say that because we spoke before about Moses speaking with Pharaoh and asking to take the people 3 days away, and there was an old story that said if any servant could be 3 days away from its master, it would be free. And this freedom that comes from after 3 days to be able to have liberty to do what you need to do. This is very beautiful.
Yes, Justin, I remember right now. It's so beautiful, so beautiful, because makes me think also another story is the Jonah story, that he's in the belly of the fish for 3 days. So these 3 days has this incredible capability to set the human free.
And Eti is writing on the whiteboard that Chokhmah and Hesed, they are in the right side of the tree of life. So, if I understood well, these 3 days, the 72, is a reference to this right side of the tree of life, which represent this mercy, this grace, and this wisdom.
It is beautiful because the book of Esther has the same, let's say, the same argument of Exodus, because it is related with the exile of the soul of Israel, in a way of the exile of the tree of life, and in a way to set us free, we have to wait these hours of grace. Really beautiful. Thank you, Justin, for making the link with Moses' story as well. The tree is the spirit, right? So this 3 days is what the spirit needs to be comfortable. Let's say, to be in his place. The spirit needs these 3 days to feel in Makom, in Shehinah. I guess it is needed 3 days, not more nor less, nor less. It's precisely 3 days, right?
And as you mentioned, Felipe, if we count these 3 days in hours, we get the 72 hours, and we know that this number, the 72, it's a very sacred number because it's related with Chokhmah, the name of the Hashem, spelled in the feeling of the Yod. So we have this 72, and also there is a lot of ways to get the 72. If we wrote the tetragrammaton as a pyramid, uh, the first line just the Yud, 20, and the second line the Yod Hey, 15. In the third line, Yod Hey Vav, 21, and the fourth line, Yod He Vav He, the 26, and we add 10 plus 15 plus 21 and plus 26, we also reach the number 72. So the 72 hours could represent this feeling of the tetragrammaton in the Yod, this Chokhmah, and this, how can I say, the higher level, maybe with the holy name, the Hashem. So it's not a coincidence that these 3 days, the necessary to freedom, the spirit, it's related, I believe, with the name of the Hashem.
And as the name Esther, these 72 that you mentioned in so many ways, it is not exposed right away. It is hidden. It is also always hidden. 72 is hidden in 3 days, in the hours of the 3 days, in the name opened, in Hashem opened, and also in I guess there is a way to write Adam in 72 as well. And so many there are so many ways to reach this 72, this chesed, and it seems that they are often hidden ways, as love is hidden, right? Yeah, as love is hidden in our actions and thoughts and feelings as well.
Yes. Venus wrote on YouTube, could we see the test again when you have a chance, please? I don't know if the Torah, the test of the book of Esther or the Zohar. I don't know, Venus. And Daniel wrote, Esther fasted for 72 hours to transform the falling serpent into ascending speech. 72 hours to transform the falling serpent into ascending speech. Thank you, Daniel. Felipe, Justin, Etty, please feel free to share your thoughts with us.
May we could read the verses Eti chose. I guess. What do you think about it?
I can read them again if you like.
Oh, thank you. I didn't listen in the first time. Please, Justin, if you could.
Sure, of course. Okay, Esther chapter 1, verse 1. Now it came to pass in the days of Ahasuerus. This is Ahasuerus who reigned from India even until Ethiopia, over 107 provinces, so 127. Esther chapter 2, verse 7. And he brought up Hadassah, that is Esther, his uncle's daughter, for she had neither father nor mother, and the maiden was of beautiful form and fair to look on. And when her father and mother were dead, Mordecai took her for his own daughter. And verse 20 says, Esther had not yet made known her kindred, nor her people, as Mordecai had charged her. For Esther did the commandment of Mordecai, like as when she was brought up with him.
Thank you, Justin.
And that's it. You're very welcome.
I don't know if Etty is available to talk with us now. I see she opened her microphone. I don't know, Etty, if you can talk with us.
Mhm. Thank you so much for being with us today. Can you hear? Rodrigo? Yes.
I can
Thank
hear
you, Felipe, Rodrigo, Justin, friends on YouTube. Thank you for opening the text today. Thank you for broadcasting this friendship to YouTube. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Etty, this opportunity, and I hope that everything is well in your place. And I just want to say thank you to open this session with us, and it's an honor to be here and listen our friends and reading these tests and talk about these elevate themes. It's a very very important to me. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, dear friends. I would like to wish you a wonderful week, wonderful season ahead. Tomorrow, this is Rosh Chodesh Adar. There's a new moon month which will be born tomorrow. This is the 12th month from spring. And the saying is, Mi shenichnas Adar, since Adar is entering, is being born, Marbin besimcha. There is a multiplication in happiness and joy. Mi shenichnas Adar, Marbin besimcha. And tomorrow this is a new month to be born, Rosh Chodesh Adar. Thank you so much, and Chodesh Tov to everyone.
Thank you, Etty. I just to mention that Venus wrote, Etty, you were concealed, and I just to share, Etty, that you were present in our sessions, not just to wrote on the whiteboard, but all the thoughts and the feelings that we share with each other. I believe your presence is permanent in our thoughts. So just to mention that Venus, uh, Venus, as the Aleph in the name of Esther, he's hidden. You are not hidden, but you participate in our thoughts in this conversation. It's amazing. And Chodesh Tov to all our friends, and Fernando wrote on YouTube. And I just want to say thank you to all to participate and to be here. It's very important to me. Shalom, shalom.
Shalom, shalom. A lovely
Shalom,
month.
shalom, everyone.
Shalom,
Thank
shalom.
you. Shalom, my friends.
Thank you.